You saw Top Gun, dude. Let's hurry up. Speedrun review incoming. Tom Cruise, you're literally an icon. Like, you're probably one of the last Hollywood action stars we have. You keep on setting the bar higher and higher for what an 800-year-old man can do. The movie itself was fine. That's it.
Hot take. The original Top Gun is not that great of a movie. This movie is technically better, but it's also using the first one as just an obvious blueprint for how to make the second movie. The movie finished is like, wow, those flight scenes were cool. Like, I'll go watch the first and it's the same as the second. You can watch the second, it's the same as the first. Who cares? With the fighter pilots, I think it could have been even better. I think the path they took towards the end of the movie, they could have gone a better route and really showed the next level of fighter pilots in action.
All the characters here besides Tom Cruise are only there to lift Tom Cruise even higher than he already is.
It wasn't even a passing of the torch movie. Like, Tom Cruise still comes out, you're like, this is Tom Cruise, Top Gun.
They could have made it a little more darker, you know, with the competitive rivalry between Miles Teller and that Barbie doll guy, but they didn't. They made it safe and boring, which was a huge miss.
Spoiler alert, no one dies in this movie, and that's what this movie needed to give it any sort of weight. Real quick, Jennifer Connelly is a beautiful woman, but who gives a fuck about their relationship, especially with how the movie sets it up? Don't look at me like that. Oh, Tommy.
I like the original Top Gun music they used.
That's the thing too, like when Top Gun came out, I'd be like, it's the soundtrack of the 80s, man. It's really not. The Top Gun theme is really good. That's where it stops.
Just really can't stress it enough. Tom Cruise, you know, Scientology has treated him right.
Tony Scott, R.I.P.
Val Kilmer. Yeah, I'm Tom Cruise. We gotta fucking get out of here. Yeah, I'm just gonna give this a 6 out of 10. Everything about the movie is just whatever, but then just a shot of Tom Cruise flying a fucking jet. You're like, man, like he's actually doing this. Like, just when I think Tom Cruise is done impressing me on screen with like the stunts he does something else. I'm like, Jesus, he's still doing it. And then apparently in the new Mission Impossible, he jumps off a fucking cliff with a motorcycle and then parachutes off. So he's keeping, you know, Hollywood cinema alive, and you know that's where the extra point goes in. So thank you, Tom.
I'm gonna give this movie a 5.5 out of 10. I think that what they did, I would expect it from any movie that was being released and it had to involve fighter jets. That's what I would expect in today's standards. I think for them to ride on that completely and say that they're breaking new grounds, like maybe they are because no one's really doing it, but at the same time, I could have used more. I could have used a lot more, if I'm being honest. Scientology and Tom Cruise, something's going right there because he's the only one releasing big budget, but actually still some kind of tier of quality film. You have like Fast 9. That's a big budget, but not a tier quality film.
Yeah, at least Tom Cruise has like a standard he sets himself to, you know? And this movie, you know, has moments you're like, fuck yeah, you know, like cool, dude. Yeah, that's it. Go Tom Cruise. Reece and I just decided to convert to Scientology. Let's see what this is all about. We're gonna see our sub count fly through the roof. Okay, well that's it. Sorry, it's whatever. Go check it out. You know, it's a good Hollywood summer movie. You know, fuck it. See ya. Sorry.
Wait a second. What does it sound like in there? Yeah.